I'm going to go ahead and install a ZZPerformance front strut tower brace. And it says it's for an ATS. I have a CTS, but I want to go ahead and see if it would fit, and it indeed does. So for the install, it's going to pretty much be the same as it would with an ATS. I used a 13mm socket, a ratchet, and then an 11/16 wrench. The first step is to detach the original nuts that are on the strut towers, and that's just with the 13mm socket. They're not torqued down a lot, but they do have to go a pretty good ways back up. Then I went ahead and lightly positioned where the strut tower brace would go to get the length right. And see, I locked it into a position on one side, and then I have to extend it on both sides. That's what the bolt in there is for. You can actually turn the entire end of it, and then you can move that bolt in and out, which is how you extend the connection. I'm going to go ahead and loosen the other side as well to make them more or less symmetrical, to not put any excess stress or weight on just one side. So I've got it lined up lengthwise, and then you can go ahead and put these spacers that they give you on the bottom, and then go ahead and just attach the nut on top, but don't torque anything down yet. It's just to hold it in place so that you can get both sides lined up. I just decided to go ahead and move into the garage. So now I have both sides lined up lengthwise. I put the spacers in, and now I'm just affixing the nuts. And that's when I dropped one behind my airbox, so I had to lift out the airbox and then chase after that one. So just put them on the ground or in a magnetic dish or somewhere to keep them from rolling all around. The last one on the other side. Just going ahead and lightly attaching them, not torquing down to spec yet. Okay, now that we have both sides down, going ahead and torquing them down. And then you can run this all the way up to keep anything from shifting. And that's where you can use the 11/16 wrench to finally tighten that up, and also for a bolt later on the back of it that you'll see. That's where the 11/16 is, going ahead and not doing any crazy torquing on that, but just snugging it up so that it won't back its way back down. And also that bolt on the back right there is where you'll also need that same 11/16 wrench. And it's just to help secure everything down so that it doesn't bounce around or jiggle around as much. Okay, it's all snugged down. It's all ready to go. It's a really simple install, probably about 15 minutes if you don't lose a nut behind your airbox. It also doesn't get in the way of any of the maintenance things. I put it in backwards the first time so that it was kind of occluding the oil cap, but now when you put it in the right way, it doesn't get in that way. It does kind of go a little bit over the Cadillac crest, but it doesn't obstruct the oil cap or the coolant cap. And it looks really clean in there, it doesn't get in the way. Everything closes properly, even though this is meant for the ATS, but it does fit the CTS as well.